Hey everybody, I wanted to spend a couple minutes to get you caught up to speed on what is happening in the Cheap Seats household. What are we up to? What do we have planned in the future? We've been a little bit more sporadic with videos lately, and the reason being is that we're just generally busy with life. We've had a lot of things going on with Jess. She's due to graduate from school within another week and a half, so there's been a bit of time spent focused on the graduation piece and trying to get to that next segment of life. And we've had daily work responsibilities, you know, that horrible W word, you know, day job, things that people actually do to make money outside of what we love to do with you guys. And we've spent a lot of time focused on the Tampa Bay Lightning. If you haven't noticed, we've put up a bunch of Lightning videos and we're trying to follow them along in the playoffs. I know we have a limited subset of the audience that follows along with hockey and at least follows along with Tampa Bay Lightning, and we appreciate all of the positive comments that we get from there. We actually appreciate all of the comments that we've gotten from the folks that are following the Capitals in their journey for the Cup as well. So it's been a really fun season this year. We're down to 4 teams and very exciting. We went to the game the other night. They lost, but came back when they won up in DC just 2 days ago. And we got another game tonight. So good luck to both teams, especially the Lightning. Wink, wink. I'm hoping that we have a parade in Tampa this year. That would be amazing to cover. So very much looking forward to that. Please, hockey gods, make it happen. All right, let's talk about some news and some things that are happening that we've been involved with in the past. Star Wars Celebration yesterday was announced that it will be returning in 2019. This time around, it'll be in Chicago. And it will be taking place over 5 days. This is the first time that they'll be taking 5 full days to have the convention. And it's April 11th through the 15th at the McCormick Center. Tickets go on sale June 5th. And what we know so far is basically the date and the place. We do know that there will be partner hotels announced. I know folks scrambled yesterday as soon as it was announced to try to get some rates at hotels, and the rates are a little bit high. But if you've been to Celebration in the past, you know that Lucasfilm and Repop work with the local hotels to get negotiated rates down for folks that are going to the convention so that they can have a lower rate over that period of time that they'll be in town. We will be going to Star Wars Celebration, as far as I know right now. You know, we've gone to the last 4 or 5 celebrations out there. This one should be unlike any other in the recent past because it's not taking place either in California or Florida. There's no synergy here with either of the Disney parks, and I think, you know, inside baseball look, from what I understand, is that they originally were looking to try to host the event in conjunction with one of the Star Wars lands, Galaxy's Edge, opening up. And I think that the concern was, or is, that when the park is not ready or can't accommodate the amount of people that would be coming in for Celebration, because Celebration does bring in, you know, 100,000 plus people per event, that they needed to go to a neutral site. And I know that they, in the past, rumors had floated out there that they were looking at bringing it back over to the UK for next year, or looking at to keep it in a neutral site somewhere in the States and looking at New York or Chicago. And obviously we've landed on Chicago. So we'll be there. Some of the changes that we've heard that are coming, that were different, that frustrated us in prior years. I don't believe that there'll be any Jedi VIP badges for this celebration, so there won't be any kind of special treatment or special handling for guests that are going to that convention. And there won't be any line waiting. So folks that, if you've watched videos from us in the past and we've complained, like, you know, you need to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to get into a regular panel, or for the quote-unquote big panels that they have every day, people would be queued up overnight. My understanding is that this time around there will be no line waiting or overnight experiences for those looking to try to get into panels. I think that what they're going to try to do is similar to what we've seen for Playlist Live and these other cons in the past, where when you register for your tickets, you'd be registering for like maybe a panel per day that you're interested in to be able to get a guaranteed spot for that specific panel. So I know that they listened to fan complaints from last year or last time out at Celebration in Orlando specifically, so that, you know, we can only hope that things get better. And let's talk about a couple cons that are also on the agenda for this year. And most imminently, we'll be heading out to MegaCon out at the Orange County Convention Center. That's taking place May 24th through the 27th, so it's over Memorial Day weekend. We've gone to MegaCon every year, and every year it gets bigger and better, and this year is no exception. The guest list is absolutely awesome. Some of the guests that they have: Jeff Goldblum, Lucy Lawless, Jason Momoa, Stephen Moyer, Norman Reedus is back, Elijah Wood, There's a wrestling contingent out there this time around with Alexa Bliss, John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura. There's a Princess Bride reunion with Carrie Ells, Chris Sarandon, and others. Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman is there this year. Carl Urban is back also from Star Trek. The lineup is awesome. I love seeing the celebrities out there doing panels. They'll be there signing autographs. They'll be taking pictures, for fees, of course. But one of the things that we focus on every time that we go out to MegaCon is their cosplay. We love seeing the fan cosplay, walking the aisles, out in the foyer, and especially during the costume contest every year. This year MegaCon is amping it up a bit, and they have a Master of Cosplay Southeast qualifier taking place. It's presented by Geico. This is going to be the qualifier leading into a major event to take place later in the year, and this ties into other events that are taking place in Dallas, Calgary, Boston, and Canada as well. So really, I'm expecting the cosplay goodness to be amped up to 11 this time around. Be sure to bring you all of that cosplay goodness as much as we can in our videos from MegaCon itself. And I'm kind of happy to announce we're going to be out in LA, at least I'm going to be out in LA with Paul from Ideology and Madness IOM Geek in July 28th and 29th for Midsummer Scream. We've never been out to Midsummer Scream before. I'm really looking forward to getting out there. It's basically a very large con dedicated to haunted attractions and just horror goodness. I know Velra's out there, but and John Murdy from Universal Hollywood to talk about Halloween Horror Nights. You get a bunch of panels out there from all of the West Coast or some of the more nationwide haunted houses. But they also have samples of a lot of different scare zones and houses to take place within one of their dark halls. So we're really psyched to be able to get out there and kind of have this buffet or smorgasbord of Halloween, or horror goodness. So we'll be sure to bring you everything. And while we're out in California, it's going to be a very short whirlwind trip. So we have the 2 days at the HorrorCon, and then we're going to squeeze in a day at Universal and squeeze in a day at Disneyland also. So we'll be bringing you everything that we can from those sites as well. And speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, we had an announcement yesterday that Trick or Treat, which was the scare zone of the year last year in Orlando, will be returning this year. However, this time it will be within one of the houses, and it'll be within the parade building. Last year was the site for Ash vs. Evil Dead, and years past we had Halloween 2 in that house, or in that building rather. I'm expecting big things from Trick or Treat. I'm a little disappointed that Trick or Treat is being used 2 years in a row, and I really liked it as a street last year, so I think it has a very large reputation to live up to, especially since the majority of that movie is laid out in the street, if you're familiar with the movie at all. So Trick or Treat will be joining Original House Dead Exposure Patient Zero, which is a sequel to fan acclaimed house from years back, as well as Stranger Things, which is the kind of the cornerstone or key property for Halloween Horror Nights Orlando this year. So good lineup so far. I expect that more houses will continue to be announced, hopefully on a bi-weekly basis or somewhere around that, because we're getting quickly, although it's only May, it's hard to believe that only 4 months away is Halloween Horror Nights time again. And while we're on the subject of Halloween Horror Nights and horror, the Four Hauntsmen, the podcast that we did last year with Nathan and Drew from Inside Universal and Paul from IOM Geek, will be making a comeback. We'll be doing season 2. We just haven't found the time that works for us to get together. However, season 2 will include 3 out of the 4 of us. Drew from Inside Universal will not be joining us in this year's adventure, at least on a permanent basis. I think what we're going to try to do, if you're familiar with the WCW or NWA version of the Four Horsemen, where we kind of had a revolving, or additional people added to the Horsemen over time, and folks coming back, we'll be looking to do that as well. Drew is currently focused on Inside Universal and won't be joining us at least on a regular basis. And I think, again, what we want to try to do with the Horsemen this year is expand a little bit more, and that's one of the reasons why Midsummer Scream appeals to us, so that we can get a little bit more coverage of horror across the states and not just focused on Universal Orlando and Halloween Horror Nights. And then just a couple more things. I know I'm forever putting ideas out there into the interwebs and maybe not carrying through on some of them, and some of it is just time constraints. We wanted to get to a point where we could do like a reviews from the Cheap Seat channel and just have that focused on movies. Most recently, I think over the last 3 weeks, I had this idea that I would have a video every Monday and call it Media Monday, so that we had a set topic to talk through every week, and we talk through like music or movies and things like that. And the music, especially because we've kind of been brought back into this really awesome world of covering more live music and bands, etc., from the folks that put together Rockville and the bands that were represented and their labels at that time. So we had a really good feedback from folks from the Rockville videos, and we're looking forward to doing more of that work as well coming up. And thanks to everybody for checking out Them Evils. We got a lot of good feedback from the interview that we did with them, and if you haven't checked that out, you can check that out. We'll put a link up here somewhere. But as far as additional music feedback, folks gave us really good commentary back about Galactic Empire. We kind of promoted them a lot in the last video that we did when we went to Hollywood Studios. Galactic Empire, phenomenal band. If you guys have not checked them out, they do Star Wars music in kind of a heavy progressive type of musical style. Really worth checking out. We had a bunch of comments and tweets and folks asking about what we thought about the new Shinedown record, Attention Attention. Shinedown is one of my favorite bands. It's one of Mary's favorite bands. It's one of Jess's favorite bands. It's something that we all connect on. The new album I thought was really good. I think it certainly has a lot more strong points, and where songs are really strong, and then it has on the flip side some songs that I think are really weak. But some of the first, I'd say like 4 or 5 songs on the record are just awesome. Very much looking forward to seeing them live again. I know we just saw them at the 98 Rock Fest not too long ago. We could put a video up here to let you guys see how that all went. But I'm definitely interested in seeing them integrate more of the new record into their set as time goes on. And last but not least, as far as music goes, Guns N' Roses is putting out this box set. I tweeted out not too long ago. If you're looking at this gigantic, like hard, I think it's a hard wooden box and everything, it runs upwards of like $1,000. It's specific for the anniversary for Appetite for Destruction. They're also putting out, slightly cheaper versions, and when I mean cheaper, it's like $180 for multiple CDs, and you get all these kind of gimmicky things like flyers from shows and posters and guitar picks and things like that. Or you can get the super cheaper iTunes version, which I think is like $20-something, which is just the songs that are included in the package. But very much interested in seeing that, considering that Guns N' Roses, again, one of my favorite bands going back through the years, and we did a video about Guns N' Roses when they played their first Not in This Lifetime tour a couple of years ago. We'll link that video here for you guys to see as well. A couple thoughts about movies. I did see Infinity War over again. I thought Infinity War the first time was better than seeing it the second time. I think that that's kind of flip-flop of what some folks are saying online. And the reason why I think that is because some of the shock factor that's in the movie obviously is not there the second time that you see it, and you kind of want to be able to fast forward through things. I still think Infinity War is probably the strongest of the Marvel Universe movies so far. However, saying that, we go to see Deadpool 2 tonight as well, so we'll probably put up a little snippet of how we felt about Deadpool 2 later. We did go to see I went to go see Life of the Party. I took my mom to see that for Mother's Day. That's with Melissa McCarthy. Not a very good movie. I'm not sure, and I would want to try to tread lightly in case folks are fans of Melissa McCarthy. I thought it was kind of very much generic for her character. The gist of the story is Melissa McCarthy is getting divorced. She needs to go back to school, or wants to go back to school to finish her degree. Of course, hilarity ensues because she's going to school with her daughter at the time, and she becomes the super cool mom. Very unrealistic movie, especially when you're suspending disbelief. And not the most funny movie either. I think that there's been funnier movies from Melissa McCarthy, but I think the stuff that's in this movie is kind of generic for what you expect to see from her. I think there's better college comedy movies where people go back to school, especially Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield, or Old School with Will Ferrell and those guys. So Life of the Party I would probably give I didn't like it as far as my review, on the scale of I hated it, I didn't like it, I liked it, and I loved it. But last but not least, of what I did love recently on YouTube Red was Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai, for those that don't know, is kind of a continuation of the Daniel LaRusso, Johnny Lawrence story from Karate Kid, I believe from 1984. I love the movie growing up. I think it's a timeless movie to watch, and I know that that's just me showing my age. The TV show works because it fast forwards to modern day, where you see how Daniel LaRusso ended up and Johnny Lawrence ended up, and just how much the impacts of that one kind of fateful event took place in their lives. But it takes place with a lot of twists and turns. There was an awesome video years back from, I believe, J. Matthew Turner, and we'll try to put a link to that either above or below, which was really well done in kind of turning the tables a bit, or twisting the story around so that it really portrayed Daniel LaRusso as the aggressor or the bad guy in the Karate Kid story. And when you watch that video, and I really urge you guys to check it out if you're a fan of the Karate Kid and you haven't seen it before, it really sets this series up where you kind of get the feeling of maybe Daniel LaRusso wasn't the squeaky clean good guy in the Karate Kid after all, and maybe this was a story with a little bit more depth. It's on YouTube Red. It's not the easiest thing to access because most people don't subscribe to YouTube Red, but the first 2 episodes, I believe, are free. But you can subscribe to YouTube Red for 30 days, I believe, and then you can cancel after 30 days if you're so inclined. But YouTube Red generally, to me, has always been more of a thing that it either allows you to skip the paid ads that are before videos without needing to use like an ad blocker or doing things that way. And it still puts money in the pockets of creators, so we still get a chunk of revenue on a monthly basis from YouTube Red subscribers that are clicking our videos. But the other piece that YouTube Red normally does is they kind of promote or partner with bigger or key creators to put out original series with them starring in it. So it's kind of like putting out TV shows. But the subscription base is far less than Hulu, which is far more less than like an Amazon Prime or Netflix. But the series itself, I believe, is 10 episodes, and really well done. When we thought of the idea of doing Media Monday, this is the genesis of what made me think about it, because I wanted to talk about the show so much more in detail. I don't want to give out spoilers around the show because I think it's so well done, but I did end up watching it twice already over the 2 weeks or so that it's been out, or less than a month. It's had unbelievable success on YouTube as far as the amount of people that have watched it, and it got picked up for season 2. So if you guys are interested in the Karate Kid at all, or even slightly inclined to check it out, you should look at the trailer or look at the first episode, and I guarantee it's going to suck you in. It's going to make you want to watch every show on demand. And I think that's all that we have for you here today. I wanted to just download everything quickly to you so that you get everything, and we're not shooting 15 different videos. I didn't want to do a single video just for the Trick or Treat's house coming out, or a single video to tell you that MegaCon is coming and all these good things, because there's so much goodness happening, but we've just been so busy in trying to get daily lives together before we can focus on putting any type of video out. So there'll be more videos coming in the near future. Just hang tight. I appreciate everybody for checking in, and I appreciate everybody for watching. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all of your likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for subscribing. I think we're at like 55,000 subscribers at this point almost, or 54,000. It's hard to even catch up. And one thing I think I'm consistently reminded of from Jess and from Mare is just how many folks are out there that are subscribed to us, and I really appreciate it. I'm always looking, forward and ahead, and I have a hard time always accepting current success, and I'm just putting it out there. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in and for checking things out. Thank you so much. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Have a great night. We'll see you guys.